So I think we have a lot of experience and success on our roster. I think more than any CLG roster's ever had. You know, we have Biofrost, who's won multiple NA splits. You know, like Rainover's won an EU. And so we have players that have been like the kings of their regions or like at the top of their regions.
CLG proved you can change the players, but the faith remains.
So I think with just like the success that everyone on our team has had, I think this is like the highest peak we could possibly have for CLG.
And the only thing stopping us will be how hard we work to be the best. This is a season where I can go farther than I've ever gone before.
During the off-season, we got 2 new teammates, Licorice and Svenskeren.
So I'm really happy about Cloud9 picking me up, even though my Worlds performance was super bad.
But just like yesterday, it's Svenskeren that ends up going down. He doesn't pay enough respect.
Flash on Svenskeren. This is the same thing that happened right behind Red when they went for Dragon the first time. Could he be going down? Battle Dance in. The saves are there. And Svenskeren's gonna live. No, Unleash Power just rage.
I'm super excited about going into the future because they still see something in me. I just really want to pay back whatever they see in me to Jack and C9.
Hello and welcome back for the final game of the day, a rematch of last year's World's Finals Gauntlet, Cloud9 versus Counterlogic Gaming, which will also be streamed on Riot Games 2 in the Player Lounge, hosted by Freak, Aframu, and Meteos. First up, selecting the blue side, it's Counterlogic Gaming. Let's take a look at this roster. 3 of them remain, 2 new guys.
Yeah, and I'm really hyped for this roster, specifically the addition of Rainover, and then even though they lost Aframu in the offseason, they have switched him up for Biofrost, who had some great mechanical plays. And even though TSM said he had bad communication skills as he was leaving the team, COD has been very happy with the way he communicates, and Zix is kind of building the communication structure with which this team should work.
Yeah, it's 2 mechanical upgrades in the positions, and then the thing is they're also very stylistically similar to CLG. Never thought of as selfish players. Rainover always wanted to do what's best for the team. Biofrost the same way, so that's all nice. And like Jad was saying, a little bit of a concern given that they lost a leader in Aframu, but like you said, more than confident they can make it up.
I mean, so that's the question, though. You lose your leader, he's got to be replaced. Yeah. And of course, you know, Rainover has been put in that position in the past, and the question remains, did he fulfill those positions in the previous teams that he was a member of?
You have to say the Team Liquid experiment was a complete disaster, complete failure, and anytime you're a part of something that abominable in some sense, like everyone bears some responsibility, and that includes, you know, the rest of his team and the coaching staff. So it's not fair to put it all on Rainover. Here he's moving into a much more stable team. They have a great coaching staff in Zix.
I think one thing that stands out to me is the fact that Rainover was involved in CLG's Worlds run, right? They brought him in to help coach in that jungle position. So they clearly have a lot of faith in this guy, having carried him over into the season.
They wanted him on their team since that time.
Right.
They just haven't been able to work out the details to actually get him on the CLG roster. So they are over the moon that they have Rainover starting.
Let's also talk about best of ones here for CLG, because I know that you have a lot of faith in this roster. And Darshan, if we recall back to the days of dominance from Darshan, it is very much in those split pushers, that X factor that you just kind of talked about, Mark, in the top lane. Yeah. Could we see some Huni-like performances from Darshan around here?
Listen, he finished 4th in top lane voting for an LCS Awards in the Summer Split, but I had him first because I thought he did have those carry performances last year, and he was doing it with the revolving door in the jungle. They had Dardoch to start the split and switch it out for Omar God. So with a reliable guy like Rainover, that's going to be huge.
Now on the flip side, of course, we've got Cloud9 on the red side of the map. Looking at this lineup, right from the get-go, I want to talk about that top laner. He's charged with dealing with Darshan in his NALCS debut. This is Licorice.
I think Licorice could be one of the most important people for how the actual LCS shakes up. If he is unable to put in consistent performances against how stacked the North American LCS is, C9 will have a hard time finishing, you know, 4th place and above. They'll be struggling to make playoffs because while they do have a great stable bottom portion of the map, if he's getting exploited by Huni, by Darshan, by Haunter, it's a nightmare situation for this team.
Yeah, and no one has really many bad words to say about Jensen, Smoothie, and Sneaky. So that half of the map seems pretty solid. And like COG kind of had to move on from Aframu, this team needs to move on from Impact and even contracts. And this is the main move. Like, yes, Licorice went away. People understand that Team Liquid decided to pay all the money to Impact. But the Svenskeren move is what drew the most question marks from the community, because they had contracts under contract when they picked up Svenskeren and have opted to use an import slot on this guy. So not only that, Svenskeren has so much to prove now that there's even more criticism from TSM.
What's your opinion
even
on that
C9.
move, Mark? Is it a good move? Is it an upgrade, really?
I think you have to look at it, and on paper, it's a downgrade. If you read all the twit longers and this and that, it felt like a little bit of a fear in the market just because people were getting snatched up so quickly. Contracts wanted to explore as options, supposedly, and during that time, they signed Svenskeren to make sure that they had a jungler locked down should contracts push for a different option. So I think that's potentially what happened, and you're not upset about Svenskeren. I mean, remember, this guy's a monster when he was unlocked and aggressive. Felt like that was slowly fading away during his time on TSM and should be revitalized.
Yeah, and I talk about how I'm looking at 2016 Reignover. In 2016, people were calling Svenskeren for a time the best Lee Sin in the world after he won a game at Worlds with it. It's been all downhill from there, but there is still that moment, and he's had very successful splits in the past.
It's very interesting comparison just because it's the jungler redemption story, and then these are the only 2 teams with 3 members returning, and we said that was only 9 total in the LCS, so these are the most...
6 of them are on stage here.
Right, this is the most consistent teams coming in from 2017 that you have in the league.
I mean, that's kind of the strange thing, right? Because now I'm trying to compare TSM of last year to C9 of this year in my head. You've got a team that we've always pointed at very much plays around the mid lane. Bjergsen and 4 wards, all the memes, whatnot. Well, Cloud9 last year, a lot of people looked at them as a team that solely revolved around Jensen. So what, if anything, has really changed here? And will Sven find much more success on another mid-centric team?
Yeah, and if you have rose-colored glasses on and, like, best-case scenario, it's actually much better. Because Smoothie was the guy who already as a support plays around mid lane. Svenskeren has years of experience playing around mid laner. His mid laner was MVP last split thanks to his contributions as well as obviously the mid laner's great skill. But it's still potentially very good for C9.
Right. Any final thoughts on this matchup, Mark?
I think the junglers will be very influential as much as we're talking about the top lane, unless Darshan actually does get a counter pick where Licorice is on red side. Last time we didn't see the counter pick.
Apparently people don't care about what side they're on, Mark, when it comes to counter picking top lane.
We'll see, but otherwise it should be pretty jungler dependent because this is a great matchup on the bottom half of the map.
All right, 5th game of the day. Let's close out strong as we head into game. If you're looking for some pro flavor, a reminder that Riot Games 2 is hosting the Player Lounge stream where Freak will be casting alongside Aframu and Meteos from 100 Thieves. Take it away, gentlemen.
Thanks very much, Dash. Yes, I am Freak here with Aframu. I was going to say, I was like looking left to right, but Aframu is alphabetically. Aframu and Meteos, you're here. I flubbed the intro. I had one job. I got that one wrong. How you guys doing?
I'm doing great.
Good to hear.
Fantastic.
All right, I'm way louder than both of you, so I will tune it down until the game actually starts. One thing I'm curious about is we just had Mark talk about whether it was an upgrade or downgrade in the jungle, going from contracts over to Svenskeren. How do you feel about that?
I think it's hard to say. I do think that Svenskeren's getting really underrated because of how TSM did at Worlds. I know that a lot of flack was sent his way, and yeah, he had some bad games, but I've always thought Sven was really good. Like, Reignover's also good, so I think this will be a cool match, but Svenskeren's always given me a lot of trouble, so I think he's a good choice.
You any thoughts on him?
No thoughts. Just listen to my jungler.
Just listen to your jungler?
Yeah.
All right, great. So he's obviously the smarter one then here. Just a quick shout out, by the way, to anyone of you watching on the stream. Feel free to send Twitter questions, hashtag NALCS. I will ask them your questions. So if you have things you want to be told, they'll respond. It'll be beautiful. In fact, we have one already. Someone asked Meteos, what do you think about the jungler swap for Cloud9? I already asked that. So first Twitter question already covered, but I appreciate you putting that one out there. So shout outs there. So then another thought then is, of course, we've seen several bot lanes change around. As a resident bot lane main, you've played both roles competitively. Pretty sure. Yeah. Yeah, pre-LCS at the very least. Tell me about who you think sort of the strong bot lanes are. Of course, yourself disincluded because you're obviously #1. But talking about like sort of the bot lanes to look for in North America this split from what you've seen so far.
Throughout all the teams?
Sure, or you know your top 3 or how you feel like this one's gonna go. Anything kind
I
of.
think Stixxay and Bauerfrost would do really well.
Yeah,
definitely top 4, I would say.
Sure.
In terms of bottom lane synergy, haven't played against them yet, but I do think they'll do really well. Or having Trevor being my AD carry and Double Lift having Biofrost, I do think they'll do really well. And then Lyra and, or not Lyra, Apollo and Hawk.
Right. Yeah.
Definitely another top 4 bottom lane. And Cody Sun and Aframu, we'll throw that.
Oh yeah, #1 for sure.
Number one
by far.
And that's top. We'll do top 3.
Right. All right, that's your top 3. I like it. Top 3 junglers after Meteos. So I guess 2, 3, and 4.
I would say Reignover, Svenskeren.
Wow.
And wish I had a list
Meteos.
in front of me.
Lyra, Mike Young. I know I'm forgetting a lot of players that are out there. Acadian's in there. Contracts. Which is another one that we're skipping, but that's okay.
I think Acadian's really good.
Acadian.
Yeah.
Nice. I like that. Well, we are on a champion select. Of course, we've got
0 jungle bans
at all, actually. It's interesting. I've actually noticed very few jungle bans that I've seen. Like, there's a bunch of assassins that seem to work with like Evelynn and Kha'Zix doing pretty well, and you've also got all the hard tanks with Jarvan and Gragas and co. Like, I think it's interesting that you've got all the different styles available, but like, how do you feel about jungle in general and like maybe the draft on jungle that we've seen so far today?
Yeah, I guess a lot of teams are just sort of figuring out what's good right now.
Yeah.
And it seems like maybe there's just stronger picks in other roles than jungler right now, so people are delaying it, kind of stuff. Or if nothing's banned, you've got a lot of choices.
Fair enough. Oh, Greg, so another thing I found interesting is we're seeing like I guess this one is not blind because he's probably kind of picking Ornn here, but like a huge ton of priority on Gangplank.
Flex Ornn, most likely.
Flex Ornn?
To the support role.
Yeah, for sure.
Played it early today?
Yeah.
That could be a Taric top.
This could be a Taric top.
Okay, still Flex Ornn, 100% still Flex Ornn. We actually saw Ornn Scion bot lane, by the way, out of Gigabyte Marine. So, I mean, still flexed. Varus mid for Huhi. 100% guaranteeing it right now. That's the lane assignment.
3 flexes. It's insane.
Yeah. Insane. They've got more flexing than a gym. I screwed that one up by the end, but I was trying. I appreciate that. Yeah.
I saw what you were going for.
Yeah. I appreciate that. I heard you had a gym mishap recently. I was overhearing you in the Smoothie Lounge.
Yep. I don't want to talk about it.
That's fine.
Though.
We'll move right on with that one. Just kidding. Remember to have a spotter, everyone. So Bromshire Spotlight. Sorry, my apologies. I shouldn't have called you out.
It's okay.
All right. Yeah. So Bromshire spot lane. And we're actually seeing like almost exclusively tank spot lane, which I'm sad about. I love mage supports. I know Spellthief is really strong, but we're on like double relic shield tank supports 100% of the games right now. And
Yeah,
it feels
most of
like
the time.
it's all you see.
Yeah.
I think overhealing is really strong, so
That is pretty good, yeah.
like if you're trying to play poke, it's just hard to poke them down when they've got like fat shields and heals all over the place.
Doesn't feel good when other roles are buying my items too.
Yeah. Well, that's getting nerfed at least 8.2. 8.2, if your range self-relic shield healing is going down, and Spellthief is going to have the jungle lockout, or the lock is going to work on monsters as well, so
Feels
a
bad.
little bit less poaching. Also, they're going to turn into sight stones, and no one wants to buy
yeah.
sight stones, so
That's true.
that'll be a big deal. Of course, that's not out yet. That's 8.2 is going to be on week 3, so at a certain point. I am kind of curious if you're able to answer this question, because obviously, like, 8.2 is going to come out on Wednesday, roughly, if everything goes right. And you're going to play on 8.1 next weekend, and then you like week 3 is going to be your matches on that patch. Like, is it hard to adjust back and forth to solo queue? Like, do you start on 8.2 early and just like hope you remember how 8.1 works? Like, I'm kind of curious what your practice schedule looks like when you have like those mismatches.
It depends a little bit on the patch. Some patches are like not a whole lot of changes, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, it can be kind of hard when like a new patch rolls out and then we're playing solo queue the whole week on that, and then we have to go back to the old one because sometimes like a champion will just become randomly super busted, right?
Right.
And I'm playing against in solo queue, I'm just like, wow, this champion is so obnoxious.
Yeah.
And then you go back to LCS and it's not. So
Not even existing, yeah.
yeah, there's that kind of stuff. Or the other way around,
Sure.
and it gets nerfed, and then you're not seeing it in solo queue, then you go back to competitive, and you're like, oh, that guy.
Right, Rise hasn't been reworked yet. It's still, okay, yeah, let's deal with that one. Yeah. All right, well, Sejuani in here versus Rengar.
Wow.
I definitely don't understand how jungle matchups like work. It's not like a very good strength of mine. So like, I mean, I guess like the basic answer is at different levels, each one power spikes, and you've got like different ways the matchup goes. But like, you've got assassin versus tank. So tell me sort of your first like major thoughts when you're looking at a game like this. And you're like, okay, well, like sort of what is each player trying to do? Like, what are the differences going on here?
Well, I actually played this matchup today. Sejuani
That's
versus
true.
Rengar.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Acadian couldn't get in on anyone like ever.
Yeah, it can be kind of hard for Rengar to play, like depending on what the enemy comp is. If they have like tons of tanks, tons of peel, there's not a lot of people that he can get on. But Rengar excels at like his early clear is super good because he can do machete and actually still kill Raptors and Krugs, which a lot of junglers struggle with. And I think Sejuani starts getting probably stronger around like 6 or like Cinderhulk by.
Okay.
So Rengar's probably going to look for some early pressure. But usually when I think of jungle matchups, I think of it more as just like each jungler does different things more so than them interacting with each other. Unless there's some kind of like hyper aggressive pick like Nidalee, which is just trying to, invade all game.
Her will.
Yeah, or Graves. Sometimes Jarvans or Lee Sens do it. But in a matchup like this, I assume it's just going to be both junglers trying to, do their own thing.
So how much does that change as a support? Because I feel like it's certainly an interactive lane to the bot lane, but like less so than mid where you have a hardcore one-on-one. Like you've got a lot more to think about. So how much, again, if you're willing to say, I don't want you guys to have to spill secrets, obviously, but like how much when you're looking at a support matchup is team comp versus lane matchup versus you know, any other like specific timing windows or something?
I think it depends for player preference. In terms
Some
of
go for like
support
total
role.
lane.
I think me, I'm more towards the team-oriented team comp. I don't really care about the matchup in lane. I'll take the hit. Some other players usually go for their preference pick. So I played against today Lemon Nation on Morgana.
Yeah.
And most people in every region is playing all tank supports, and then he whips out the Morgana today. So I was surprised.
With Frost Queen, Glacial Augment Rush, and just like hits one on cooldown, basically. So we're getting into the game, loading up. Of course, lineups on your screen right here. Predictions for both of you. Afro, I want to start with you. Prediction for this game.
Well, my pregame prediction was CLG, and it's looking like their comp definitely has a lot of early pressure here. So I'm still going to keep my CLG prediction.
I went with C9.
Yep.
And I'm going to stick with C9 because I think they've got some crazy scaling on their team. And yeah, I think with champs like Zillion, it's just really hard to completely shut him out of the game. And I wouldn't want to be playing Rengar against Zillion. It's hard enough to kill people when they're not coming back to life with full health, but dealing with that too it's going to be hard.
One thing I'm curious about, actually, because we have some all-star mids, like Jensen is like a super high respected like hard carry mid laner. Faker's another example of this, and pretty frequently they get put on supportive mids. And for a lot of people, are like, wait, why would you waste Faker on Lulu when he could play Malzahar in 1v9? Like, what are, I mean, you know, really to both of you, what are your thoughts on putting sort of like all-star players on supportive champions that don't tend to be hard carries?
I think a lot of players want to play for their team. And so even if you're considered like really, really good mechanically, if a champion's strong, you're still probably going to be expected to play it, even if it's not necessarily a champion you're going to 1v9 on, because ideally in a team, you know, you're not, I don't think many teams go into games saying like, okay, this is our superstar, we're all just going to support him. Usually it's just kind of trying to figure out as a team what's good.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Great. Good to hear. Gonna go up to a couple of Twitter questions then. Duke asks to both of you, how important do you think jungle support synergies are this season?
This season?
Yeah.
I think like
I guess by
been
contrast.
very important every season.
Sure.
This season's no exception. And I really enjoyed playing with Will. He's a lot very blunt and honest.
Will Medios Hartman, for those who
straightforward
don't know his
with
name.
like what he needs in the game, what we can do. And he's very easy to talk to in terms of like bouncing off ideas and stuff like that. So I think when you're having your LCS team or you're playing with your jungler or support, that is very important to have synergy like that, because usually jungle support dictates the play style of your team most of the time, because they can connect all the lanes together and how we approach the game. So
thanks, man. I like playing with you too.
Thanks.
It's good. That would be really awkward if you're like, actually, I hate this guy and I can't wait to switch teams again.
Oh, here's an invade. Reinever's hard cheesing him.
Well, he triggered Electrocute, and now he gets Raptors.
Yeah, this is a pretty good invade for Rengar.
You mentioned Rengar's supposed to win early, and looks like that definitely happened. He's gonna get, he's a full camp ahead now, sick.
Yeah, this is pretty bad for Sejuani here. Rengar's gonna be able to take pretty much his whole top side and then be able to go back into his top jungle, while Sejuani's not really gonna have anything to farm.
He gets Scuttle, and I think he's probably too unsafe to get Krugs, right? He can't steal Krugs easily.
Yeah,
He
bot lane's getting pushed in right here.
probably can't because bot's pushed in, yeah.
Yeah, ouch. All right, well, unlucky for him. Life is pain. I actually noticed a lot of sort of keystone changes. So the two I want to ask about is I've seen both Aftershock Sejuani and Fleet Footwork Sejuani, and I've also seen a lot of Spellbook supports. And so for both those questions, what's up with that, I guess, is the question, really more than anything? Like, what are your thoughts?
Well, I've seen a lot of people do Fleet on Sejuani, and I'm personally more a fan of Aftershock because I think when you pick Sejuani, you know, you're trying to pick a tank, and I like the idea of just becoming tankier. Fleet Footwork does give her a better early clear, but I feel like you just miss out on a lot of stuff. Like you lose out on conditioning, the tenacity,
right? Yeah,
mastery, overgrowth. So you just end up a lot squishier. Also, not having the health can make it so you sometimes don't hit your Warmog threshold if you get it right after Cinderhold.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of preference. Fleet's definitely going to help you in the early game. Like your first clear is going to be a lot healthier and faster, but I like the scaling of Aftershock personally.
Do you think there's ever going to be a situation where you like choose it based on matchup or team comp or something?
I think you could if you really want some stronger early game. Like maybe even in this matchup, if you're super worried about getting invaded, maybe Fleet Footwork's a better choice because you could clear faster.
Yeah. I think it's definitely compelling. I know that was like the goal with Runes Reforged. It's like, hey, there's supposed to be some playstyle choices, and theoretically it makes a difference here. And Yeah, I mean, one can dream. So, Afro, how about spellbook supports? Or if you're going to say something, please.
I was, yeah.
Yeah, go for it. Go
and
for it.
Yeah, spellbook support. Mostly I've seen people taking on, what, Alistar and Shen?
Yeah.
Usually. And usually they're versus that champion too. So to match Shen, if you don't have TP, I mean, you can't really affect the other side of the map unless you're really hard pressuring. So I understand taking spellbook against Shen and stuff like that. But you do lose a lot in terms of tank stats if you don't get Aftershock on these melee supports where you're literally tanking in the mid game for everybody. And they're just a lot more squishier than normal. So it's decent if you're going for that type of playstyle where you're just going to, you know, make plays across the map and stuff like that. But
yeah.
Rainover's playing this really aggressively.
He's hiding on a control ward right now. He sees Sven. And he's coming in behind. He jumped over the wall, so now he's got the jump on him.
Oh, wow.
And he gets Raptors again. And he lands the smite.
Yeah, the early game's going really well for Rainover. This is tough to beat the Sejuani here. Kind of just have to endure and hope you don't suffer any bigger deficits.
Oh, well played with the matchup then. And I know one of the big questions that some people had was, and I guess you had actually power ranked Rainover as the best jungler behind you, obviously, because he did not have a good 2017, right? He looked really bad on Liquid. He seemed to not be the same Rainover that we'd seen, you know, the 2 years prior to that. Was that just a product of him not having the right team around him, or like, do you think it was actually an off year for him? Like, because again, you just come in this year like, no, Rainover's the best.
Well, I wasn't playing too actively last year, so I didn't really practice against him at all or see too many of his competitive games. But I always just thought of Rainover as a really good jungler from a decision-making perspective.
Yeah.
A lot of times with jungle matchups, it'll be like you're trying to optimize the amount of experience you're getting while still pressuring the map, thinking about like all your own potential plays and all their potential plays. And I always thought Rainover was really good at that, but I don't really know how the team dynamic was on Liquid. I do know that you know, good players can definitely look bad if like there's not a lot of synergy on the team. Maybe they're having some like internal problems. I know they were struggling, so maybe like Blame the Jungler came back around to that team. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't have any inside info, but
that's fair.
I think that kind of thing could make any jungler not look too good.
Sure. So we look for in the mid game here because we're approaching ults pretty quickly on bot lane. We've already got ults on mid. I guess Sven is actually 2 levels down, so he can't. But that's actually really rough. Okay,
that is rough.
Yeah, that's actually abysmal to be that far down now.
I wonder if he's gonna
Here's where
blue
Jensen.
to Jensen.
Yeah, Jensen says, "Here, take blue, my friend. I know you're behind. Catch up."
Says no mid laner ever.
Here we go.
All right, he could be Katarina and want blue here.
He's even leashing it for Sven. Very nice. Ooh.
Yep. Oh, Sven. No, you hit it one too many times.
He accidentally took it. He was trying to help him, but he got it.
Unlucky time bomb, dude. Wow.
Oh, man.
He's bombing himself to repent.
If only self-damage were a thing. Oh, man. All right, well, here's Ornn. He's pretty strong, I hear.
Here comes
Big
the
dive.
3-man top dive, baby. Here we go. Does he have stopwatch? Oh, he does. He does. Dash on tanks. All right. Oh, goes on Rainover.
Oh, no, he has stopwatch, too.
Oh.
So he switches aggro.
Goes on Hui.
Oh,
That was
wow.
actually, yeah. It goes both ways, and Hui didn't die to turret.
Oh, Darshan.
That was really manly from Darshan to do, because he doesn't even have flash right now.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Oh, they
Wow.
did clean him up.
Guess he just thought they can kill him.
If I was Rainover, I'd be pretty sad about this play because now Svenskeren caught up a lot from that. Basically, Rainover had that 2-level lead you were talking about.
Yeah.
And they did force this play, which was pretty nice. But because Ornn ended up dying afterwards and Sejuani was able to push out the wave, that XP gap between junglers is pretty much gone now. So it's going to be a lot more equalized in the jungle.
Man, he's going to be at like, what, 6 1/3 off this camp, right? So, yeah, he's doing well for himself. Oh, Darshan's still on Ignite TP, so no flash for him for a while.
Has no smite. Oh! He sees Rainover.
Oh, that sucks. Sorry, he's still down a level.
Gives it. He could die here.
He's just dead.
Wow. That was sad.
Well, Rengar's a champion.
Oh, God. No flash, Licorice.
Yeah, but
on the way.
Rainover's got no HP, so I guess he can't. Wow.
That was savage.
That just sounds... I would never want to be Rainover or Sven right there.
That was
Oh,
a tragedy.
man.
Dude, Hui's backing up Rainover really well, though. In the
Yeah.
jungle. I always thought that this duo would do really well.
Yeah,
into
it
the
seems
season.
like it. I actually had a really high, I guess, hopes for Sven Jensen because I feel like they're playstyles line up well because Jensen wants to push all the time and Sven wants to invade all the time. In general, and obviously, okay, this is not necessarily the comp for it, but that felt like Sven would find a better home on C9 based on players. I don't know if you agree or not, but that's how I saw it kind of coming in on paper.
Yeah, it definitely could. They're both very aggressive players. I know Sven likes to invade when he can, but you know, some games you're not going to be in that situation. And he's pretty much been on the back foot all game, but he's getting back into it slowly.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Nice camp skill.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's good. That's going to help him a lot as well. Sadly, chickens aren't worth nearly as much catch-up XP as last year, but maybe a good thing for the game overall. But, I've noticed, what am I trying to go for here? Like, because we're seeing a lot of tank supports, right, and tank supports tend to be hard CC, we used to see people choose between Moby rushes to roam in versus just going for conventional sight stone, which both players have done here. I'm curious, that it feels like we see much less Moby rushes this time around.
Free Infernal. I think it's because of the mastering the Inspiration Tree magical footwear.
Yeah.
Free 300 gold. So now that you have both AD carries taking targets, you can literally just, you know, AFK farm, wait till magical footwear comes in, don't have to spend an extra 300 gold on your boots so you can go towards your first item even faster.
Yep.
So most melee supports usually value that over roaming. And nowadays, since everyone has stopwatch,
Wow.
Dive.
Yep, that's a flash ult.
Damn.
So they're definitely ganking Licorice a crap ton right now. I'm wondering, again, I just guess I'm just like, here's something happened. Question for you guys. Right, do you ever come into a game and you're like, all right, this seems to be like their weakest player, it's their rookie player, whatever. Like, do you target people and be like, hey, this guy should be a source of gold? And is that what they're doing here, or is it just like the matchup's good?
I think generally in Gangplank games, playing against Gangplank, you're going to want to try to punish him because, you know, if you fight not near Gangplank, his ult's going to come in and pressure a lot.
Oh, so I see so, retaliating here.
Sick, good ult. Yeah, they can't chase that. Oh, sweet.
So I do think CLG's plays are probably more around the champions and the current game state more so than just like, let's try to, you know, focus Licorice because he's a rookie.
Sure, yeah.
It could be, but
sure.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I've definitely never like actually worked with pro teams to know like what kind of things are considered like coming into a game. Like how many of those are like, oh, it's a plan because it's this team, or you just kind of react on the go. You're like, I never know actually what teams prioritize, and I obviously don't want you to spill beans on how your team thinks right now, but with like former teams, right? Like, would you ever have come into a game and your coach is like, guys, okay, we're against CLG this game, we're gonna draft this way because we're gonna play around double lift or whatever? Thinking back like when you played against CLG, right? Double lift was there, so.
No.
On C9 and such.
I usually never gave too much mind about that. I just sort of try to take the steps that I know like will work towards winning a game, and it usually works out pretty well.
Okay. You have the same experiences usually?
Yeah, same. Usually if they have a team where one player is popping off, all that matters is that your teammate that does play that role can stop him or stall him off. And then you just win the game as a team. So don't really focus too much on like individual players.
Okay. That's interesting. Yeah, because I never knew if like teams tended to like focus strats based around, but I guess not so much in this day and age.
Yeah, I think a lot of the time it's just punishing mistakes, and if a player is weak, they'll probably make more mistakes that you can punish. But if you're going into a game expecting someone to play really bad, you might actually kind of tunnel too much on that, and if they don't make mistakes, then you trying to punish them for something they're not messing up could end badly for you.
That makes sense. Cool. Thanks for the insight on that. Someone asked about what you think of Eve's early game. Just Evelyn as a champion overall.
Her clear's really good.
Okay.
She's pretty healthy. She can take Raptors pretty easily, but she doesn't really have mobility, and she's pretty susceptible to getting killed, like in duels, 2v2s, that kind of stuff. So she definitely has to play a little safe till 6.
Oh, another gank down here in this one. Rain over.
He's out.
Oh, the flash Q.
He's out.
He's up. He's invisible.
My God.
Hoo-hee.
That was
He
good.
makes it out.
Wow. All right. Well, that was sick. Well,
I thought he was a goner.
I thought he was dead.
Bromstead still there. Oof.
Yeah.
A lot of burst damage, not a lot of consistent damage, I think.
Yeah, that's true. Get away from it all. Hit the W at the right time. This was well played.
I think one more auto and he had it, but who he saved him.
Yeah, that was nice. All right. Well, that was pretty sweet. Did you end up catching any of Clutch versus Golden Guardians?
Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah, so like we saw the Kazakhs like hard invade even that one. Contracts had a really good start, but it just didn't matter in the end, I guess.
Yeah, I think they just sort of got behind, and if you're playing like carry champions and you're not ahead, it's not a very good time.
Yeah, I was bringing it up because I had an Evelyn game and like yeah, I probably can't dual cost. It's that pre 6, like no thanks. So
yeah,
that was how that matchup went. But yeah, Contracts couldn't solo carry because it wasn't enough of a lead by any means. 2,500 apart. CLG, so far after Moo, your prediction going well and who he's popping off?
Yeah, CLG has a better early game comp, but C9s is about to hit their power spike soon. Maybe in like 3 to 5 minutes. So we'll see how that goes. They definitely got, they got Infernal Dragon first on C9. So
that's true, yeah.
That's very good.
On the bottom, you got another question here. Koi Hai asks, do you prefer a tank meta or an assassin meta in, I guess, a general sense?
I think that is a really vague question. And a lot of people will ask me, they're like, is tank meta back? And I know a lot when Ardent Sensor was super strong, people would call it a tank meta. And in my opinion, it wasn't really so much that tanks were good. It was more the case that if I'm not playing a tank, I'm useless because an AD carry is going to be invincible and shred me in 1 second. So I think it kind of depends why something's good, right? Like if it's an assassin meta because assassins are one-shotting any and everything with nothing you can do about it, I don't think that's too fun. Sure. And if it's a tank meta because tanks are killing you while being absolutely invincible, that's not too fun either.
Nope.
So I would just kind of hope for a healthy meta where there's counterplay to most things, where like skill pulls through more so than just
team comp.
Yeah, or like a specific champion's strength.
Sure, yeah.
Down goes Rainover.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, cool. I know we're not there right now in bot lane for you, Afro.
Gone,
yeah. Since you kind of only play tanks right now bot lane, which is too bad, but it'd be good to see Zyra and Brand back and things like that.
Oh, the new Brand buff for next patch is really good.
I'm playing Brand.
Versus tank? Oh.
Well,
it's a negative flex, bro.
I think the Brand buff already is an 8-1, right, with the passive up? Or is there something else that you're thinking about?
I'm talking about the passive, yeah.
Yeah, so that's live right now.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
8.1 had the Brand passive on. 8.2 is the everyone gets a free Sightstone.
Everyone.
Well, everyone who wants to can buy a Frost Fang or something and get oh, he's so dead. I'm pretty sure he's going to get stunned.
Oh, gents.
So
bodied.
Not viable against... All right, well, they're catching back up. You're right at Power Spike.
Yeah.
When I played with Jensen, it was surprising how many times he would solo kill someone in his Zillion. So I think a lot of people just don't expect the burst.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, he's actually down a bit in CS, but yeah, he's catching back up pretty well in this game.
Licorice is actually keeping really close too, even having 2 deaths.
Darshan's
still
not feeling the flash.
Dude, he's got E, dude. It's fine.
Oh, he has Ignite TP. What the?
He's
I just noticed.
He's got Hecarim summoners, dude.
He's legitimately playing Hecarim.
Wait a second.
The ult slightly longer range, though, than Hecarim says. Is Ornn actually as nuts as everyone says? Just generally?
Really obnoxious.
That's fair.
He does
when you hear the horn, becomes Ornn.
Yeah. And you're just like, oh, we're all dead.
If you're playing a champion with no mobility and he ults you, it's so sad. It's an 80% slow into a knockup, and then he comes flying at you, CCs you 10 more times, kills you.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think he has a good tower here.
Oh.
Yeah. Almost.
Yeah.
Huh. Where do you think the next big play is going to be?
Drake's live, but it's Clouds and no one cares. Maybe you should go first. That's true. Thanks, bud. Thanks, bud. Way to go, dude. Oh, I just want to point out, by the way, in your guys' game, we actually saw your gold tick up to exactly 100K, like with like 300 to go, and I was like, oh my gosh, guys, it's so thematic. 100 Thief, 100K, here we go, and then the crowd cheered. So I don't know if you heard that or not, but
that was actually the plan.
Yeah.
We got you to exactly 100K. There's no kills. It was just very clean.
That was 100% what we were going for.
You're welcome. I'm glad we got to call it out.
Generally, in Rengar games, Rengar's ult is the thing that most people are thinking about. When you're playing against him, you think about where Rengar's going to ult. You try to not put yourself in a situation where it's going to cause a lot of damage. And then you either counter it or avoid it. And then when his ult's down, you try to like force stuff on him. So I imagine most of the plays this game are going to happen around Rengar ults. And I really just think it's going to be hard for Rainover to not die because he's trying to kill a Zillion.
Yeah, or a Zillion with the target. I do love that video, by the way.
It's pretty good.
If you haven't seen that, YouTube search "can't killing the Zillion." It's actually amazing.
Yeah, so he's going to try to force stuff, and we'll have to see how that goes.
Yeah, it has to be away from Jensen, who's got 4 seconds till he TP's in, so at any given time.
I'd say scaling's on C9's side, so
yeah, definitely.
CLG is going to feel pressured to make some plays, but These champions C9 has, like specifically Zillion, Braum, Sejuani, just super hard to force on. Just have a lot of good defensive options.
Well, camp and brush. If anyone face checks, double bomb. No, not gonna catch the champion. Smite fight.
Tristana is at 2 items now. Personally,
Yeah.
not 1.5.
It's a good spot. I've noticed the AD carries are pretty reliably upgrading to Targons as soon as they can,
Oh,
instead of like
maybe
waiting a
we're
long
going for
time.
that.
Oh, he missed!
Oh,
That's crazy. Should kill him anyway.
Oh, Jensen.
That was a zoning Ornn ultimate.
Yeah.
For who he'd make the big play afterwards.
Was he trying to not hit it?
No, I think he face planted the wall because he started running up and he's like, oh, I'm not in range anymore. So it was a mechanical
Nobody
misplay.
saw it.
I did. I called it out. Can we get a I don't know if that's possible, an in-action replay just of Darshan whiffing the Ornn ultimate? That would be ideal.
I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say he just only wanted
Alright.
the slow and he's trying to make it.
He only wanted the slow because who needs a hard crowd control?
Yeah, he's just
It's a zoning ultimate. No, I understand.
giving them some false confidence.
Yeah. Jat said Darshan's the best top laner in NA last split. So, not with
split?
plays like that.
That he was.
Maybe he still is, dude. But I know Jat has CLG power ranked as #1 team.
He switched to Flash.
All right. He's now in the team fights.
No longer Hecarim.
Yeah, it's true.
So it looks like C9's just going to be trying to push down turrets with Tristana. She's pretty good with her E.
Oh, here's the replay. Oh, that was an instant replay
We almost
right
got there. Yeah. Trust me, he totally missed there.
Very instant.
It's okay. We'll get it back. Yeah. Oh, apparently it's okay. We'll get it again at some point. Either way, it happened. We're good. We got to see that clip very closely. And yeah, we're back into this one with a 2,000 gold deficit.
If only the games were that fast.
Yeah, we got a lot of hour-long games. I know one of you talked to me about that, but I guess I'll put it back to you. How do you feel about our hour-long League of Legends games?
Well, I think it's more fun when the games are action-packed.
I agree.
If it's an hour-long game, I'd like it to be, a lot of kills.
Yep.
When it's an hour-long game and it just feels like you can't really force a play too easily, it's just kind of, you're doing your best for vision control. There's not a lot of openings, then it can be kind of stale.
Yeah.
And
All right, here we go. All right, Darshan.
All right.
You can do it this time.
He gets the slow. Yeah, he's walked past it. Yeah. See, he meant to hit it.
Headbutt in the wall right there.
Unlucky.
Yeah,
he tried.
That was a bummer.
Yeah. They still got the kill, though. And Darshan got the assist, so, I mean, the KDA goes up. That's how you know
It threw him off pretty hard.
Yeah. He was looking for the ultimate, and he found the Mal's ult, and he's like, oh, I didn't expect that. Unlucky.
I do think that little Bitcoin-looking fellow in some of the inventories is to blame for these games because...
Oh, the stopwatches?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
It's definitely...
Definitely.
Definitely makes plays hard to force when you want to dive someone and you know they're just going to zone you for free.
Yeah, it's kind of rough. You should dive them pre-6, dude. It's easy.
Yep. Simple.
Yeah. Huh, that's... I guess, yeah, he's just alone and dead now.
I've seen Sven win these.
Oh, it's...
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Get out of there, buddy.
He's dead.
Run! Oh, man.
That's too bad.
Cheesed.
All right, time to force Baron, boys.
Yep. I've seen a lot of players, by the way, like burn Flash trying to live and just dying anyway without any other summoners used to chase them. Like, I'm trying to figure out what the question I actually have for you, other than just the observation that I see a lot of wasted flashes on like bad escapes. And
yeah, it happens. I think he may have lived if Styxia didn't flash after him, so it wasn't...
Yeah, that was probably flash or flash.
Yeah, it wasn't all bad. Sometimes if you're not sure if you can survive or not, you just go for it, and if it doesn't work, bummer.
That's fair.
Surprised none of C9's champions have QSS versus Malzahar. And Varus.
And Rengar.
And Rengar.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Interesting
choice.
would be the word, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys had like 4 within 12 seconds basically in your game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good item choice if you don't like getting one shot by Malzahar.
Yeah, sounds about right.
I was playing Sejuani against Malzahar. I didn't get QSS because...
You're a tank.
Yeah, I'm a tank. I had 10,000 health with my Gargoyle active, and I still was getting like one shot during Malzahar ult, so...
You usually went to about half, I remember, and then there was one where you just actually got popped.
I think that was the one I didn't get my Gargoyle off.
Yeah.
I don't know that champ. He does quite a bit of damage.
Yeah, he's a little strong. People finally realized it after about a year of only Crown playing the champion, and he's getting nerfed in 8.2, so it'll be better.
Oof, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Good time.
Okay, something else would be cool. I'm actually very curious. Again, I know you obviously have still another week of LCS to play, but with 8.2 coming out in like 4 days, if you've put any thought towards Sightstone being free and like what it's going to do to like all your itemization choices and whatnot, and how you think it's going to impact the game if you can make that sort of forecast.
Haven't thought about it too much.
Figured not.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually I don't really worry about the new patch until like I'm going to be competing on it. So I've been just super focused on 8.1 still.
That makes sense.
But usually once the official patch notes are out is when I'll really like look at it.
That's fair. Yeah, I think for what it's worth, I think that's the right choice. So, Freak approved. Not that you have to care that much about it, but
thank you.
All I ever wanted was your approval.
Oh, dude, thanks, man. All right, well, we got another question up here from Twitter. Soul Air Powered. How do you feel about what off-meta, I suppose, pick do you want most to come back in to the game for Season 8?
We'll do both roles. All right, do jungle, bro.
Yeah, you'll do jungle. He gets support.
I wouldn't mind Vi coming back. I always
Support
enjoy-
Vi.
So maybe not support Vi.
I was going backwards with you guys.
Okay.
Just for funsies. No, I mean, sorry, but yeah.
Well, for support, I mean my boy Brand.
Yeah. I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, he's a banger. For jungle, I like Vi though.
Okay.
I liked her a lot, but she's so hard to play with all the defensive options nowadays because, most champs that you play can do more than just go in. And with a champ like Vi, all she does is go in. And so, if they have Tom Kench on their team, it's like,
you're actually useless.
my entire essence as a champion is countered by him just putting someone in their stomach. So
yeah,
BG. So maybe if they changed her up or something
Tom
happened.
Kench is unpickable somehow. And Braum and all the other horribly disengaging champions. This is a fight, though.
Oh, I don't think they know they're there.
Nope. It's stealthy, dude.
They probably figure they're somewhere around there.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, he won't walk up that brush until they see him. Now he feels great. He's like, all right, I can ward this again.
Interesting to see how these fights go.
Oh, wow. Tristan about a QSS. Hell yeah.
Okay. Afro, what jungle and support do you want to see return to the game as a common pick?
Jungle? Ooh.
Brand?
Let me see. No.
Vito Zappy. Probably viable. At level 3, you can start killing camps.
Honestly, NA's only been playing Gragas, but I'm a huge Gragas. Actually, let's watch this team fight.
Okay. Well, reviving Sejuani.
Okay.
Rainover's gonna die.
Rainover's at 1%. Oh!
No, Rainover's not dead.
Jumps into the mouse.
Oh!
I've
never seen the E itself kill someone before from Sedge.
Takes him down with his dying breath.
Does like 5 damage.
Yeah, that was... I didn't even know he had all the stacks.
I didn't either, but apparently he did.
So yeah,
definitely going to be really hard for Rainover to team fight here.
Yeah.
Definitely. Jungle, I would like Gragas.
Okay. Yep. Yeah.
Huge
Typical.
Gragas fan.
Anyone who's ever been on
from a
CLG
CLG
is like Gragas is the best champion in the
Gragas,
game.
love that.
I like playing Gragas.
Okay,
Just
fair.
So hard to kill jungle camp.
That's true. That's true.
And then support. I think everything has like been played. Maybe an off meta support. Hopefully they change Heimerdinger into a support.
Ooh, there you go. Yeah. Give him the.
I would play that.
The health regen aura back. So you just like infinite sustain bot lane or something.
Maybe a turret that helps your team instead of a turret that attacks.
Okay. It just like shoots healing at people.
Shoots healing. That would be nuts.
Healing. It's like a TF2 medic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Okay.
Just place down a vending machine.
Oh man, yeah. Dude, you ever play Team Fortress Classic, by the way? Like before TF2? Yeah, I played a ton of that. Engineer was great.
I never played it.
That's fine. Engineers could create like an ammo dispenser. It also, I think it dispensed armor too. It was pretty powerful. I stopped playing before they added teleporters though. That was new to me. But eventually TFC had teleporters. Anyway, we're getting off topic. This is a team fight, by the way.
Oh yeah, he does have the stack.
Yep.
Ouch. He edged it pretty well until that.
Yeah.
The jungler trade right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
No one can smite.
It's a rough time to be a jungler, let me just say.
Braum can actually block Ornalty, by the way.
Yep.
So Smoothie definitely did very
he
good.
eat
blocking
backwards to stop the first half of it. He didn't have to eat for the team fight, but it's worth it, obviously. You think that kind of consideration is important when it's like, oh, Brahm's up, we shouldn't pick this champion, or is it not a big enough of a factor?
Brahm's pretty good against a lot of champions that have projectiles because he just stops them. So I do think it's something that a lot of people will think about, like, oh, they have Braum, maybe this champ's not as good here, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So a champ like Ari into Braum, I mean, Braum just eats your Q, so you don't get the return Q and stuff like that, so most of your damage is gone.
Yeah, eats Ezreal, eats Ornn, etc., etc.
Sivir, too.
Oh, they got Varus.
Oh, yeah,
Doesn't
Sivir
get bounces.
Oh, yeah, that
Varus.
super hurts her.
1%.
Oh,
He has flash, he has flash.
Okay, he's fine. Oh, that
wow.
destroyed front line.
Oh, got the ulti. Zillion, boys, wow.
Stick say? Okay.
Oh, nice flash smoothie.
Yeah.
C9 can probably Baron here.
Yeah, definitely. They're way too low to contest this.
Yeah, so Licorice flashed in.
That was
miscalculated the kill
ambitious.
and came back with full health.
Zillion.
Interesting.
Gameplay.
Oh, I'm surprised they didn't want to rush Baron right there. What happened? Guess they want to get the mid wave.
Okay.
Huh.
They can try. I mean, I guess they have time, right? They have 25 seconds, so
Looks like they're baiting. Oh,
they could run either wave.
all right, here we go.
Seems like they're a little indecisive, or they just really want to bait.
Oh, Taric no flash. Goodbye.
Okay.
I mean, he had to face check. Somebody had to.
Yeah, true. He was just silence.
Mouse no flash either. Goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye.
Oh, ooh, nice KS smoothie.
Nice.
Yeah. He deserved that kill, dude. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, he did. Blocking Ornn ults every team fight. Come on
See?
now.
There you go.
Let's
See?
get some gold, guys.
All right.
That's my boy right there.
What's your favorite support to steal all kills on for both of you? You're gonna say Brand, but so Aframu.
Thresh.
Thresh to steal all kills.
Oh yeah.
Save
If I'm
hook.
gonna hook the champion, lantern you in, flay the guy, exhaust him so you can kill him, I'm
gonna take the last hit.
300 gold.
You're running exhaust? Ignite, dude.
Sometimes ignite.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Not nearly as good at stealing kills with exhaust.
It's true.
I tell my AD carry to stop auto attacking.
Yo, guys, he's dead. Move next. Next target. Next target. I got him.
When's the last time you bought like a Bloodthirster on Thresh to do more damage? Last time you bought an attack damage item on Thresh?
Normal.
Okay. How long ago though?
Long time ago.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Maybe a year.
Fair enougenough. I think I played against Hurricane Thresh in ARAM like a week ago.
I actually played against it in ranked.
Wow. How'd that go?
Uncle Jamal played 80 Thresh versus me. One shot my 80 carry.
Was his jungler Renekton banned out?
Yeah. It was bad now.
That's the natural progression of picks. Just going down the tier list.
I've never heard of that player, but that's amazing.
This is a little ambitious siege here by C9. Licorice died in the side lane. He's down 4v5.
I think that was a good play by CLG there, going for the pick on GP since they saw him flash in the last fight.
Yeah.
But I really just think it's going to be hard for CLG to win fights at this point. I think they're going to have to look for some sort of Malzahar flash ult or some crazy engage onto Zillion, because if you go on anyone else, he's just going to revive them.
Oh, Braum has QSS now. Nice.
Oh, dang.
I think Jensen has to play super backline this game. 'Cause if he gets ulted, I mean, CLG wins.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised Jensen decided to not go for QSS, but I guess he's pulling it off.
Oh, God, Sven. Oh.
Hi, it's Huhi. Alright, it's fine, I guess. Jeez, Zillion was far too. That actually could have been a fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's no QSS either. Huh. I guess there's no vision to know if the team was around, but it ended up actually being a free kill if they wanted it.
They didn't have that many wards out, so.
Yeah. It's always funny to see, like, when you're spectating, it's like, oh my god, this was a free kill. It's like, oh, no. They had no way of knowing it was free.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah,
I understand.
I think the best way is using kind of like a poker analogy. Like when you see what the other what everyone's hand is, yeah, it's obvious to know like what you're supposed to do, but you have to keep in mind when you're watching these games, the other team does not have the same vision the spectators do, and you have to operate off of what you know.
Until 8.2 when there's 5 sight stones. Then everyone has spectator view, and it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, it's going to be perfect.
Yeah, obviously.
Oh, wow, that
that's
ult was nice.
really, yeah.
Stixay got
Oh my god, Gangplank
just
Royd. Bomb.
All right, well, everyone's dying.
Jensen had a 4-man stun right there. Wow.
And
okay. Sneaky's popping off.
Remake.
Yeah,
remake.
Sorry, can we remake this
bug.
game?
Remake.
Our AD carry, it's
The
not
bombs were invisible.
Yeah. My Braum ult, or sorry, my Ornn ult disappeared. Weird. Like, it's supposed to stun the entire team. We're supposed to just win the game automatically. I don't.
Jesus.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I will be told at some point what the pause is about. Hopefully, it's not a remake, because I feel like Cloud9 did a pretty good job deserving this one. But
maybe all their champions were on the same frame and got stuck.
That
maybe
couldn't run.
They're on the same. They're on the same unit.
I don't think Sven would want a remake. I don't think he wants to relive the early game
That
matchup.
early game?
It wasn't very fun for him.
Well, it either gets Chrono Break back like 1 minute, or they remake with full picks and bans, and that means he doesn't play the matchup again. Yeah, easy.
Could be. Or more likely, Ace is probably not a remake.
Yeah, more likely they just like re-plug in the guy's mouse and be like, all right, and now you can kill the Nexus. And it's like, great, thanks, guys.
Yep. Well, I think the game's pretty over, though.
Yeah,
If
I agree.
It's not a remake. That was a pretty decisive fight, and C9 does have the scaling.
Yep. What's funny is I have a Twitter question right here saying, what does C9 need to do to turn this around? Which has already happened, but it was 9 minutes
If
ago.
they
to be
all
fair.
leave the game, it would turn around, and CLG would probably win.
Yep, yeah, that's a fair point.
That would be a very easy way for C9 to turn the game.
Yeah. But yeah, you guys were mentioning actually before as I read through the rest of the question. The rest of the question was, what does CLG do to secure the win? At that point, they were ahead, and it would be continue to pick off the Zillion.
Pick off a zillion.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean,
It's
Jensen's
really
like one death all
hard.
game.
Yeah, super hard thing to do. You know, if he sees Rengar ult, he just backs up.
Yeah.
And so I definitely think CLG like set themselves up for a pretty hard game to win.
Yeah. Even though they had the early lead, which is interesting, because they were winning by like a pretty reasonable amount. And you're like, oh no, you both were like, yeah, C9 has the late game, and then it was within 4K, and so the team fights got better, and they outscaled Rengar.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of defensive options nowadays, so snowballing games and closing early is pretty hard to do. So a lot of teams think the scaling comps are going to do well.
It's an interesting topic, actually, I want to bring up, because as I formulate the words, like obviously commencing stopwatch, probably not great for competitive play just because it stymies so much aggression, and that's not fun to watch. But I've also seen, like I've seen a bunch of different analyses. So I'll bring up like vision as an example. Like if there's no vision at all, if no one's buying a sight stone, then you can't go aggressive because you don't have the junglers around. And so no one fights. But on the other side, I've seen the argument where if everyone has vision all the time, you can always see the jungler, so you can never be ganked, so there's no aggression because no one can ever die. And obviously, like the truth is somewhere in the middle, but I'm kind of curious, like at what point do like having more tools, or like I guess is increased lethality like gonna make the game in general more aggressive or less aggressive? Because like if I mistake, I die right away, but if it's more lethal, then I can kill them, and like both arguments work, right?
Yeah, I don't know if I really have the answer to that one.
Yeah, me either.
I always thought the game was kind of the most fun when junglers had the play pattern of like you build one damage item and then you go tanky after that. But I feel like ever since Cinderhulk's been a thing and like tank junglers where you can get tanky immediately, it's just kind of like made for a lot slower games because, you know, there's not that much early kill pressure. It's harder to even kill the jungler. So maybe that's like...
So you'd want to see like Gragas go back to Runic Echo's tank, for example, and things like that, or like the Elise Runic Echoes in a tank. But you should sometimes go
I think
AP.
that generally leads to more kills happening early game because, you know, there's just they're gonna do more damage to laners and they have a higher chance of dying themselves.
Right,
So I always thought that was a really fun play pattern.
Okay. Afra, what are your thoughts? Because like we're in double tank sports right now and no one dies.
Yeah, not a lot of fun there. I do think the new runes have a huge part in that in terms of Aftershock being tanky. Supports also get to take commencing stopwatch.
Yeah.
I get unflinching. I get second wind now.
Yeah.
So trades in lane aren't as punishing, especially with now Relic Shield healing. I have so much to stand in lane.
Yeah.
Like, it's not for myself. My AD carry is literally
It
healing
just
me.
gives you extra.
So
yeah.
I don't really like that too much. Hopefully they are fixing it next patch.
I think Relic Shield is actually gone from AD carry.
Overheal and Relic Shield. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Because when the patch first came out, no one was running that, the double Relic Shield.
Yeah, which I thought was nuts because it was straight buffed.
Yeah, I thought it was really good because I was able to play different, not so much tank supports at the beginning of the preseason in terms of like mage supports and actually harass the AD carry.
Yeah, it's good.
Nowadays, you can't do that.
Yeah.
He has a shield, he gets healed by himself and his support too.
Yeah, yeah.
When it's like not even in like the champions kit and stuff. So I think once they get rid of that, bottom lane will be a lot more crazy in terms of trading, and then you'll have a lot more skill coming through in terms of bottom lane 2v2s.
Right. Now you're allowed to play Zyra and not be trolling your team, which means now you can gank a Zyra instead of ganking a Tahm Kench, which is impossible in the latter case. So, okay, cool. Yeah, hopefully it's like the right mix, and that'd be nice to see, because obviously, yeah, we had like a lot of like 12 kills 1 hour games, and it's like,
yeah,
you know, generally fans like when it's 30 kills 1 hour games or something like that. So, yeah.
Or 120 kills.
120 kills 1 hour game. That sounds amazing.
That's solo queue.
I would lose my... That's true. Okay, we got ourselves another Twitter question. It's about Gangplank. It's not on my screen, but it's on ours right there. Haven't been playing League much over the last month and a half. Is there a reason GP is so frequently played right now, aside from general income and his ult helping cross-map team fights?
I think it's a couple things. I definitely think the new runes helped Gangplank a lot because Klepto is just kind of almost unfair in the sense that you just sit there queuing the guy over and over with Klepto plus Resolve, so you're pretty tanky, hard to fight, and then even for just fighting, you get so much extra money. So you're getting Trinity Force at like 10 minutes, you still have your ultimate to help other lanes, and Stopwatch is keeping him from getting punished really hard. So I think in general, the new runes have just like put Gangplank in a really strong place.
Yeah, I think that the systems tend to buff. And the same thing kind of happened with Ezreal as well, where it's like super easy to get a tier Sheen recall, and you're like, great, I'm online, I'm gonna scale forever. Yeah, it definitely, like, that was a known quantity coming in, like from the design team. We're like, some things are going to be differently balanced because runes are going to help some more than others, and like they have to work through that. And obviously they're still doing stuff. There's all 3 Resolve keystones are getting changed next patch.
Oh wow,
really?
So they're very minor. So like the patch notes are out on PvE and stuff and whatnot. But Aftershock is doing less damage, a lot more resists, so it's potentially viable for top lane. So like and the damage has an AD ratio, so like Renekton might consider it. Like, because I know like Bruisers have no good keystones right now, and like it'll help a little. Guardian, much longer cooldown, a little bit higher shield. Better cooldown at like the very end of the game, and then Grasp, they're loosening the ranged penalty slightly since it's not good on any ranged champions. Like they can just tweak that number until like it's like playable, and like hoping they can like find that somewhere. So those are getting touched up a little bit.
A ranged champion with Grasp.
I mean, at a certain point, there's a number where it's right? So,
is that something that anyone wants to play against?
I don't know, maybe not, right? It's like basically just Urgot and Gnar. I think the thought is if your lane is so garbage that you like actually can't play League of Legends, or you're playing Thresh, which maybe you want to do it on him. It's like, okay, well, maybe I'm gonna sustain with this, right? Instead of like running flash attack, but like Fleet Footwork obviously just like does what Grasp does if your lane is hard. So maybe that's pie in the sky. But that was the idea. It's a very slight buff to range.
Okay, yeah, we can see how it works.
Yeah, it was all the rage in at All Stars last year with the 1v1 mode, right? Everyone was going to Grasp Caitlyn every game. So there's a time and place for the infinite sustain keystone. Who knows? Apparently, by the way, I heard the reason for the pause was Stixay tried to QSS a stun and it didn't work or something, roughly to that degree. But looks like we're back to unpaused, and it actually apparently did act as intended.
The game is over.
Yeah, which is exactly what we expected.
Came back to watch the win right here.
All right, sweet.
Can't count out Rainover.
We had a nice chat.
I heard Meteos rank him highly.
Yeah, dude.
He can win this.
All right, he jumps on the back line.
Jumps in.
He's killing minions.
1v5.
Get that tank.
Oh, he tried, dude.
Look how low those tank minions were, though.
Yeah. At least the champion looks cool.
Yeah. He's using the mecha skin, right?
Yeah. Is that the best Rengar skin?
Yeah, definitely a good choice on skin.
Okay, that's good.
And that's the game, Cole.
That is the game. Oh, they burned their flashes. All right, and they TP'd. Wow. They did it. Congratulations.
Nice. I was right.
You were right. I was wrong, as was Aftermoo. So, yeah, you have to wear the trash bag now. And shout out TSM from 2011. Yeah, the Rayman, exactly. Thank you for getting the reference. Yeah, so there we go. We did it. You were both wonderful. I just want to point that out real quick.
Thanks.
You too.
Thank you for having us.
Of course, yeah. I don't know at what point we're going to end the stream. They didn't tell me when we're going to stop, but we are on camera and, well, beautiful and doing his best. 100 Thieves, you guys play CLG tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Yeah, who just lost, so will you also beat them?
That's the plan.
Good.
There is a curse, though, generally. What I found is that on these LCS days, if you win game 1, day 2 is going to be harder for you.
Okay.
And if you lose day 1, then day 2 is going to be easier for you because you're like, when you win, you get lazy. When you lose, you get motivated. So we're going to have to not buy into that.
Right. You're aware of it, so you're just going to whip him into shape and tell Meters not to be lazy.
I'm not lazy.
Okay. You're blaming your team.
I'm not blaming anyone. I'm just saying.
Well, you're blaming your ex-teammates, apparently.
I'm saying something happens to everyone.
Okay.
It's a curse.
It's a curse?
Yeah, it's just a curse. No one's fault.
Yeah. Well, they're liquid now, so.
Oh.
That was lame.
Wow.
See ya.
But we have a beautiful shot of an all-blue stadium now as both their team colors are blue, and it's back to us. I missed that.
Yeah, I like looking at myself.
Yeah, thanks, me too.
I like looking at you.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I'm just going to look at this monitor, right? Because the camera's there, but our monitor's here, so we're off looking like a little off-center a lot of the time. And you've got a nice like blue hue on your face right now, Meteos. It's very pretty.
Thank you.
Yeah, I got you.
I try.
Is
that from your jacket?
Blue. No, I don't. Maybe it actually could be the reflection of my jacket.
Maybe it is your jacket.
That would make the most sense. I don't know why it would be anything else. Or like the super bright tie. Like.
So next time you could wear a red jacket and it look like I'm blushing the whole time.
Yeah. I mean, if you're sitting next to me, I feel like,
I mean, I might just be blushing the whole time.
So
too.
kawaii. or something. Great.
So, do we have any more thoughts on the game we just watched?
Yeah, none from Twitter, but if you guys have thoughts, I'd love to hear them.
I don't know if I have any thoughts.
Bottom lane was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah.
They farmed a bit and then just on a scaled and
some great relic shield procs.
Yeah.
Sharing lots and lots of gold.
Yep.
Saw a couple of missed cannons, I think. You know?
Ooh, garbage players.
Ooh.
We did see minion dematerializer from Cody. Use it? No, that was Optic Duo when they played Morgana Ezreal. They
had
dematerializer. So Optic
Ezreal?
AD carry.
Ezreal, yeah.
Yeah.
I think he had it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he
Thought that
shoots
was
a
interesting.
Q and then dematerializes the minion, and the Q hits you.
Yeah, that was my thought initially, but either way,
I think
Arrow ran
has
that.
like a travel time though, doesn't it?
It has a little travel time.
Yeah, there's a delay. It's
kinda
not
hard.
like your Smite Blitzcrank or something.
Yeah.
But they pushed us in the whole time, so I think he was just eating creeps with the thing to
Yeah.
push faster or something.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Could be.
But you survived the laning phase and came back to win.
Yeah, that was real close.
Yeah. Under your
That
turret
was-
for a
Thank
while.
goodness we had sustain.
Yep. Oof. Ooh, thank goodness for double relic shield.
I know.
Almost could have taken damage in that laning phase. Oh my word.
Nobody would have wanted that.
No, of course not. Dying in lane, that's so 2017 and every other year of League of Legends.
Yeah, and
That's so
old
patch
news.
8.1.
Yep.
And then it'll hopefully change very soon. Because I don't know any AD carry who wants to buy Targon's Brace and get a Sight Stone. I can think of anyone who plays that role who's like, oh, I love wards.
I don't
So-
think AD carries know what wards do.
Maybe Genja would buy that, but everyone else, nah.
Yeah. So final question, as the interview ends up with Sven back there on the monitors. We can watch the main stream over there.
Oh, yeah.
How do you feel about your, let me get the name right, Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loan house. Yeah,
Rocket
we
Mortgage
got
by Quicken
your I don't know why I looked up. It's literally on your
Yeah,
shirts.
right here, man.
Yeah, so how do you feel about the Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans gaming house?
I feel really good
Duplex.
about their Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans Gaming House.
Yeah?
It's super nice, very comfortable. Basically has more than I would have ever expected. So it's a good time.
In that video, I heard Someday Speak English. It was actually better than I expected. He seems to be doing pretty well in that.
Yeah, it's pretty good news.
That's good.
Yeah.
The house is amazing, by the way.
That's good to hear.
I know.
All right, we got one more minute to fill. They've told me I need to fill one more minute, and then
One
we can
more
go to the
minute.
analyst desk. So how would you like to spend our last 60 seconds together?
Truth or dare.
All right. How do you feel about Nate Shot?
Nate Shot is awesome, actually.
I make quick truth, by the way. Yeah, Nate Shot wants to come hang out. We have like 40 seconds. Like you can come hang out. You can take my ad.
Oh, there he
I
is.
didn't tell him to say that I was awesome. He just said it on his own.
Yeah, yeah.
Under his own will.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
I
I
believe you.
didn't know he was there at all.
Wow.
Right?
He had no idea.
That's incredible. How do you feel about 100 Thieves as a team?
100 Thieves is great.
Yeah?
Zach's great. Will's great. Sunday's great.
How about me?
You're cool too.
We met
I
today.
just met you, yeah.
Yeah.
You're fantastic.
Who would you vote out of the house? Like if you had to remove one person, doesn't have to be a player, but like could be staff. Like who would you remove?
Nobody. We're a big happy family. We're like a Brady bunch.
Okay.
Good
Or
answer.
I would
like
vote
that.
myself out so I can go home and play Fortnite.
That
Oh,
makes
yeah.
sense.
We
You
haven't
could
played
beat
Fortnite.
Prolly.
Yeah. We could vote probably out.
Okay.
He doesn't seem that important, right?
No.
It's all
No.
about these two.
Hell
Yeah.
All right, I'm out.
The big brains of the team. All right. Looks like we're in a good spot. Thank you both so much. Thanks, Nate Shot. We'll miss you. Time to go back to the analyst desk. Stay awesome.
Prior to the knockup, but actually ends up not getting it in time. And then once you're in the air, your QSS goes off, but it doesn't actually stop the knockup portion. Therefore, he feels CC'd while his QSS did actually go off.
Well, there you have it. I mean, I don't think we need to linger on this too long. One thing I do want to talk about, though, is that move for Sven Skaren, is that confidence that he has in the team around him and the composition that they built in that game. He hit a lot of the same key points that you guys, hit in terms of why the victory came for Cloud9. Yes, he had a slow start. Yes, he made the mistake and Rainover punished him, but ultimately drafting in this case won them the game.
Yeah, and also just the strong mid and bot side of that map. So the GP fell over early lane. He got cycled by Rainover on his red buff, but the Ornn couldn't do anything in teamfights because of Smoothie's shields, and the Rengar couldn't do anything in teamfights because of Jensen's zillion ultimates. So his team had his back for sure.
And it definitely bodes well for the future because you heard Sven Skaren admitting my mistake was starting on my strong side and clearing to my top so I could get abused. If I didn't do that, I think this game's a lot easier. And then they also have the great draft, and they obviously played great as a team to stop letting themselves get abused. Licorice fell down about 20 CS in the first 10 minutes of the game, stayed at around 20 CS the entire game before they finally started winning. So overall, they showed that they can take a loss early on and bounce back, which is really promising to see.
By the same token, CLG kind of getting unlucky and to to a degree in the way that they didn't, right? They're the first team that had to play against that Zilean. Malzahar is very clearly meta, right?
Yeah.
And so here's the first example of in a pro game this season where somebody's bringing out the Zilean in response to that. Unfortunate for CLG that they have to run into Jensen's Zilean first of all teams.
Yeah, I think there's a few things they could have done against it a little bit more.
Okay.
They were still cycling topside, even though he was never building a QSS on Zilean. Rengar, Malzahar, ganking mid lane, you can actually still do that. So there were certain things CLG could have played around, but I agree, they got caught by surprise in there's no game 2.
Best of one, exactly.
Best of ones,
they
baby.
lost. It's over.
A brand new world, best of ones. Well, it's only day 1, so let's see which teams made a splash. At the start of the split, Team Liquid, 100 Thieves, and Clutch Gaming each picked up a win alongside Echo Fox and Cloud9, while the other teams aim to tie their record with our matches tomorrow. But taking a look at this standings, of course, you guys correctly guessed, what, 3 out of 5 each?
3 out of 5.
Because of this most recent game, which was looking very good. How do you feel about
won the best of 5 of predictions?
That's a good point.
We're great.
So we just marked down as a win for today.
We won
today.
60% is what we aim here for on the LCS.
You only win 60% of the games in the world final, and you're a champion.
That's a good point. If my solo queue win rate was 60%, then I'd
be challenger.
That's a really good point. But looking at these things, does anything in particular surprise you? Quite obviously, you'd say the ones I didn't predict are the ones that surprised me. But anything really jumping out?
Yeah, I was impressed with how clean Clutch Gaming looked in their victory. All 5 people took super magical boots. They had an organized rune setup from a team and very organized play in game. But you got to take that with a big grain of salt because a lot of people are expecting Golden Guardians to be weak early on in the split, and that's who they played against.
All right, before we move on to tomorrow's matches, let's take a look at who made their opening day count by picking up, player of the game. For Team Liquid, we have Olay, 100 Thieves, Afromu. We've got Clutch Gaming's Febivin, Echo Fox's Huni, and Cloud9's Svenskeren. Let's talk about a few of these guys. Of course, Huni making his splash with that Lucian. We talked a bit about him. I want to talk about Febivin specifically as a mid laner. You talked about Clutch, but still when I look at that roster, I wonder who is necessarily the leader, who is going to be the one to pull all these guys together and actually be the captain of the team like Hai has developed into.
Well, Febivin is actually a guy who I think will be that kind of person because I know a lot of people kind of have a somewhat negative perception of him after his time way back in 2015, 2016 with Fnatic and things like that. But he's actually turned into a big leader. I had a chance to talk with some of their coaching staff. They were very high on him and his ability to work with teammates. He has a big mental shift from where he was, all those years ago and deserves a lot more credit as an actual leader on teams.
All right, by the same token, Olay is the other target I'm looking at, Jad. Team Liquid looked crushing in their victory today over TSM. I mean, it's a super team. The money was poured into it, but it seems to be paying off already.
Day 1 worked amazingly for Team Liquid. That was the fastest game we've seen in Europe this week, in NA this week. They looked decisive, and it was up against who was supposed to be super stiff competition. They smashed them.
I mean, that's the thing. In the face of the competition that it was, makes the win all that much more impressive. That's going to about wrap it up for today. We've got more matches coming your way tomorrow. The broadcast starts at 1:30 PST. Mark your calendars with the NALCS Countdown, where we will review Day 1 and look towards our next 5 games. It starts with the fearsome Team Liquid taking on Optic Gaming, followed by FlyQuest versus TSM, and 3 more games before we close out Week 1. Real close, or real quick rather, which of those series tomorrow are you most excited for?
Game 3, Afromu versus Old Team in CLG. 100 Thieves 1 looked very, very difficult, but here they get to see CLG coming off a loss. Hopefully they can find a way to bounce back.
Game 5, Echo Fox versus Clutch Gaming. One of those teams will be undefeated after this week.
That's pretty nuts to think about. Well, though every team will be aiming to end their weekend with a win, there's more at stake for Counterlogic Gaming. As Mark just mentioned, they face their former leader, Afromu, and his new team, 100 Thieves.
Offseason was pretty stressful since I'm no longer on CLG. I'm now 100 Thieves support. It was very difficult to leave CLG. Main reason was the people.
I think the thing that people might not realize is that when you have teammates in League of Legends, they're kind of like your closest friends.
We all thought we were gonna play again with each other, and stuff's happened. So yeah, like it hurts, but we have to move on.
Having been with Zach for so long, I would say he's definitely like one of my closest friends, and he's someone that led the team to victory in a lot of ways.
Now that I'm not playing with Afro, I'm still like really confident in myself to do well. I can kind of use the stuff he taught me to just go on by myself.
It kind of sucks that he's gone, and on top of that, I'm playing against him the first week, and obviously I want to beat him, but I see like Aframu and 100 Thieves jersey, and it just doesn't feel right.
I love those guys, and still gonna be friends with them throughout life, but I'm gonna have to kick their ass.
Kobe said it. You can change the players, but the faith remains with that roster. You're going to have some faith as CLG is looking to pick up their first win of the split, while 100 Thieves also looking to go undefeated 2-0 if they pick up that win tomorrow in this matchup.
I can't wait, right? 100 Thieves did not look super clean. COG also didn't have the greatest draft today, but it is 100 Thieves coming in with the win, have a chance to go 2-0 after that first week. And whenever you have that one player who leaves their old team, it's always a tough match.
And if you're like Jat and you're optimistic on CLG, you did see some promising things. Rainover did take over the early game. Just didn't transition.
All right, well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to do it for day one. So for myself, the casters, and the entire live broadcast crew, thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow for more NALCS. Good night.
The fans are ready, so are we, and the players loading into the game. The first game of the 2018 season of the North American LCS. TSM taking on Liquid. Let's get in the game.
How about we do $15,000 and the winners will go to the charity of my choice.
There you go.
Done.
200 HP, maybe a little bit more. The double stun! Huge plays out of the bot lane. 4 kills to Liquid.
I'm going. Okay. Let's go. Let's go.
And under 30 minutes, Liquid gonna shut down TSM in the first game of the split, and Double gets revenge on his old team.
Go play.
That's Flash.
Nice.
Oh god,
Morgana. W.
Wait, I can heal a bit.
Nice. Let's fucking go.
Nexus to fall, the damage won't matter. 100 Thieves, 1-0 in the North American LCS.
First game, I've always lost, but I have a better feeling about this team.
Oh, perfect. That's what I like. That's what I like.
Oh, I'm ready.
The flash to chase in, but this could be the shot. And Aqua gets himself a kill, plus the knockup. That could be 2 picked up, yes.
J4 no flash. I'm looking at backline. I can stall for a while.
We win.
I've stopwatch, I'm fine. Okay, nice.
Can we go?
Finally gonna go. Somebody hits the turret king. He's gonna go down. Got him. Slaps it down to finally. Liquid, he's burned the stopwatch. Rainover's getting low. Liquid is gonna try and get a bit of stopwatch from Rainover.
The fighting mid?
It's okay.
Oh, nice. Pitch it. Nice.
Okay. Don't go.
I flash.
Nice. Nice.
Jensing in the zone. Biofrost good take there from Smoothie as they wanted all the ace. To end the game as C9 take down all 5 members of CLG their last few times at the Nexus and start the season off with a win.